Fantasy Six-Pack Hour with your hosts, Joe Bob and AJ Applegarth.
Welcome, everybody, to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. Can you actually hear me? Is that a no?
No, it's... yes.
May the 4th be with you, right? May the 4th be with you. Sorry, guys. I'm a big Star Wars nerd. Wearing a Star Wars shirt. Gotta bring the helmet out. I will take it off, but gotta do it. Anyway, it's also hot as hell, so cannot wear that for much longer.
As if we weren't nerdy enough talking about fantasy baseball. You got to bring Star Wars into it.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond.
I am your co-host.
I don't know what's worse. Anyway, at our fantasysixpack.net. With me as usual, co-host AJ Applegarth. What's going on, man?
What's up?
And our third co-host, helping us out for baseball. If you need to take a minute, man, that's cool. I see what's going on there. No big deal. No big deal. It happened.
Look, I got to be honest with you about one thing, though. You didn't have to introduce me this time and call me into it, so I'm really excited.
I just was like, you know what? There's no point. You've been around for the last 5 weeks.
Again.
You're on the thumbnail. There is 100% DAP included here. This is fantastic.
Thanks.
So anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about some really underachieving players. Some of these guys, they're all drafted within the top 100 or very close to it in a lot of leagues. Just super underperforming. Is it time to break up with these guys is really the question here. And so we're going to get into that. Some Bryce Harper talk about some of these prospects that have come up that, some good, some bad. Some of these demotions, most of them prospects as well. A little bit of Yankees talk, and then finish off with Dap's favorite subject, and that is saves and holds league. So before we jump into all that, though, want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button. It's somewhere down there. AJ can probably point to it better than me. He's at the bottom of the screen. But the subscribe button, follow button. Nope, wrong way. No, yeah, takes a minute. Nope, other way.
I don't know where you want. What am I pointing at? The subscribe button.
It's literally right down there. Anyway, get that thumbs up, leave those comments. We appreciate it wherever you watch and listen. And then our subscriptions, our memberships are still open on Fantasy Six-Pack. They will be all year. All of the sports are part of the package now. Right now, baseball is obviously leading the way, but as we know, football's coming in hot. We're going to be dropping our draft cheat sheet here hopefully soon, putting the final touches on it. And then, we're going to be dropping a whole lot of content there. We're already doing all the DFS and baseball coverage there for all of that, for baseball, I mean. And so all the football stuff's going to be coming in soon. And the biggest thing is, you get to talk to the three of us and then some on Discord and get your custom league advice. And, Dap, we've helped out a lot of people, I feel like, over there on Discord, There's not a ton of people over there right now, but as far as the members, for some reason we have a lot of members, but they're not signing up. They're actually not going to Discord. I'm like, that's right. The most valuable piece. Just do it. But
and not only that, not only that, right? The fact that, again, they come and they get the specific questions, specific answers, right? We tailor it versus who do you think is a good, next good hitter? And another great thing too is, they get to have some access to some kind of the deeper dives with our free agent finds, our fab finds that we do every week. And we've been hitting them pretty well lately. We've actually,
absolutely.
I think our last 3 top hitter picks, I think, hit a home run the next day. I'm not going to say we can continue that streak, but definitely something.
We're like the Dave Eddy DFS pick of the day. They're like just hitting home runs every day. It's pretty fantastic. Right. So, it's fun, and we really do. I do, at least. I enjoy talking to everybody over there, answering the questions. Look, I was actually just on a show that's going to get released later this week with Bob Long, kind of promoting the Fantasy Football Expo that we will be attending, and we'll have a booth in August. And one of the things we said at the end of the show was how much satisfaction we get when we help people, right? I mean, that's ultimately why I got into it. I like teaching people, kind of teaching people how to play, teaching people how to look for certain things to improve their own game. So, look, at the end of the day, maybe they won't need us after a while, and so be it. But, hopefully they just enjoy talking to us and they stick around. But, that is so fun to just have like the gratification of somebody going like, holy crap, like you really helped us, like you really helped me. And, I got this far. I've never been this far before. Like we've gotten a few of those comments already, and you know, we're pretty new to the membership stuff. So that's pretty cool. But, all right.
Well, just real quick. Can I tell you, I don't know how to put this. You had a show last week and I wasn't on it because it was about football. And you're like, and I was like, why am I not going to be on the show just because I suck at football? And you're like, because you suck at football. And then I was like, but we could talk about baseball. And you're like, no, because football makes us more money on the site. So that hurt me. That hurt me deep. And I just want to let you know, it took a lot of work.
You're making up stuff, man. You're making up stuff, man.
A lot of therapy, man. But I'm back.
I have told you to come to the expo. I'm like, you play? Come to the expo. Have fun with us, man. It's a good time.
Talk at football.
All right, let's do our beer of the week.
All right.
Beer.
Dap, do your promo. I just love hearing what you can say every week. Oh, we might have lost him. No, he was breaking up a little bit there, so we might have lost him. All right, AJ.
Fine. I'll step in. Oh, yeah. Wearing my new Slug It and Chug It Baltimore Orioles shirt with the funnel. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I'm too busy with your Darth Vader fourthing of withing you, whatever.
I'm just gonna wear it more if you keep making fun of it. It's like
I don't care.
It's like my daughter. She like hates it, and so I do it more just because you say you don't like it.
Weird. It's weird. I didn't say I didn't like it. I just think that you're a nerd. But keeping with
I never said I wasn't.
theme here, I'm going with the Checker Spot Brewing Co.'s Stoop Sesh. This is actually the last one that I've had or have still from when we did the live show down there at your place and went to Brew Belly. So
nice.
I've been waiting on this one. I was like, I gotta drink it. I gotta drink it on the show. I got a chance.
Good stuff. All right, Dap, you got you back? Yeah. You good to go?
Yeah. Sorry, I think I have like 300 tabs open for the show, and so I think the thing was just like no. But Tito's Vodka. Because I live in Austin, I want to keep Austin proud with Tito's. Please sponsor us. Tito's.
Good luck.
Also, before you go, Joe, I do have this that I'm sure you saw at the Disney World that you just went to.
Sorry, I have like split screen, so the screen's really small there, but now I can see it. What was it again?
Was that a pagan symbol?
Stop being a douche.
Oh.
No, I don't know which way it goes because I'm not that much of a nerd.
I don't actually know what half of that means either, but it's the coasters of that bar that they have in the
Tatooine bar.
In the Tatooine bar, yeah. Well, yeah, it's called something else, but yeah, it's supposed to mimic that. But no, that's pretty cool. We did visit that.
Yeah.
It's like the most expensive bar I've ever
you have your like
been to
45-minute window of
being we went there. We drank one beer or one drink. It took us like 10 minutes, and I was like, I don't really want to get any more because they were like $20. I'm out.
Just 20.
Thanks, Disney. All So I have a new one, and this is the most fun cover, and we're all gonna probably laugh at this. It is from Pariah Brewing Company. I don't know. Only 90 kids will get this IPA. And so the front of it's like a bunch of like, doodles and stuff on the front, and then the back's the best part.
Pickles?
It's a composition book on the back.
Oh no,
this is fantastic, and it's like on the front. It's hard to see, but it's like peace signs and like glasses and skateboards and Furbies and
sign on it,
and like there's Ninja Turtles and a Game Boy.
Oh, it's a
rollerblades.
Wow.
This thing is Super Soakers, like peace signs, yin yangs, the little the little S's.
Stussy, that's what
yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
There's a whole. There's actually a great
not,
article
but
about what
that's
it is. Yeah.
ended up.
This thing.
Yeah.
Everybody just drew them just because it could.
Like
So I saw this and I was like, I don't even know if it's good, but I'm just gonna get
draw
it.
3 more lines, and then I'm gonna connect.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know if it's good, but I'm just gonna get it. It's pretty awesome.
That's good.
That's pretty good. There's a pager. That's awesome.
Yes.
And it actually spells out hello.
Did have a pager.
I did too. All right, so let's get going here, guys. So we're gonna start with some players to drop potentially. We'll see if we really want to break up with these guys, and I'm gonna bounce back and forth here on the list because you both have one, and we're gonna start here, Dap, with the top one on your list, and it's Eloy Jimenez. His ADP you've got here listed at 71, and let's just say he is not living up to those standards. Fantasy Pros player ranker has him at hitter 196, so no bueno.
Right.
What are we doing with this guy?
So I mean, he's heating up of late, right? I mean, his last 7 games, it's ridiculous. Video game numbers, right? He's 2 home runs, 500 OBP, and 690 slugging, which is what you want from Eloy. But frankly, it's been painfully slow. I mean, 258. And the thing is, we're just waiting for him to get injured. I mean,
He was already injured for like a brief period of time.
Right.
Thankfully,
But I mean,
you're
you're
an IL stint.
Right. We're waiting for the big injury that always happens with Eloy. Yeah. And you're just hoping that he has enough production to kind of offset it, right? It's kind of like with the Jacob deGroms of the world where, I mean, look, I wish Eloy would get to the deGrom level, but frankly, other than the last 7 games, which is what you expect from Eloy, whole White Sox offense is just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I've already tried to price check Eloy. The people that I was trying to sell him to were trying to give me middle tier, if best, maybe 2 mid-tier guys, and that's just not. I mean, I'd rather bet that he's going to come back around. So I was really close to cutting him before this past week. If he hits another dry spell, especially if the Sox keep just being terrible, all because of Tommy La Russa, right? It's all because of La Russa. But they keep being terrible. I just don't know how you keep him on my team with so many other outfield options out there. And the other key thing here, he doesn't steal bases, right? He doesn't steal. So you're not giving me much with your bat, and you're not going to give me any speed, not even one stolen base in this new environment. I just don't know how you can afford that.
Vogelbach? Jeez. I had to bring it up just because a commercial that still cracks me up.
Right.
Like his Buck Showalter, I just went in the corner like, he's not going to steal. Oh, he's going to go. Oh my gosh. This is so hilarious.
Is that the go sign? But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if you could trade him for what he needs to be, but if you're going to cut him, yeah, obviously trade him and see if you can get something for him. But I would definitely have him at my next kind of cut list if I can get somebody good. Like if I can get we're going to be talking about Miller here in a little bit. The recent call up. If I'm getting a Miller and Gimenez is the person I got to cut to bolster my pitching staff, he's probably going to be the first person I cut.
Yeah, it's hard for me because I looked at your list when I went in here earlier and typed my names in, and I mean, really, I just typed names of people that I had because they've just been destroying me, and I'm miserably angry at myself for having them still. But some of the leagues that I have them in, I'm very torn about cutting them because I feel like people will go and grab them. So I almost want to try to. I want to try to like wait to see if they do turn it around and then try to dangle them in a trade. So the first guy I have here is Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, he's just got such putrid stats right now and really over the last couple weeks he's been even worse. He kind of started off okay, but I mean he's a guy that you were taking ADP 68.
His VBR, the value based ranking that's on Fantasy Pros, by the way, 143 for hitter. So not good either. No. So good pick there.
I was amazed because I was looking before I got the ADPs from the link you put out. I ended up I was looking at him in one of my leagues. I think it was the lone ESPN league. So they rank, even though it's just outfielders in our league, it's still center field, right field, left field.
Oh,
as far as the ranking of the position. So there's multiple outfielders that are number 1, number 2, number 3. I'm like, how the hell is this guy 33? He's batting 214. This is not correct. This has got to be screwed up. And then I figured that out, and I was like, yeah, that makes more sense. So 99. We'll say he's around 99. But it was just ridiculous with him. And the same thing happened last year, though, and it burned me because I ended up cutting bait early.
Right.
And then it screwed me because he turned it around and had a really solid season the rest of the way. And of course, the guy who won our championship in that league ended up picking him up, and I work with him, so he got to rub it in my face often, or thank me. It was a little bit of both. But
and that was something I was going to bring up. Like, I feel like we've seen slow Aprils from very, very talented players before. Somebody that comes to mind recently is Paul Goldschmidt. He's had horrendous Aprils, and I think his is slightly better this year, but it's still not great for him.
He's doing pretty well this year.
But it's still, I feel like with these superstar players like this, that we know what their absolute ceiling is, it is hard to cut bait. Now there is a guy that's next on your list that I'm not sure. I don't think I can. Even me, I'm going, I don't think I can hang with him anymore. There's just too many other players, and it's Jose Abreu. This one just looks bad everywhere. We're talking an ADP of, you've got him listed a little higher, but on NFBC it was around 87 for the last month of March. I only did the month of March, so kind of when everything sort of settled, new prospects and stuff like that, injuries kind of hit. You had the ADP a little higher from a consensus viewpoint. I think you used whatever was on Fantasy Pros, but their VBR ranking of him 331. He's like one of the worst hitters in baseball right now.
Right,
it is not good.
So you actually, what you said a little earlier was kind of going to be my whole morale of this segment, right? I was telling people, no, you did great, because I mean, it was going to be about, let's be patient. But Jose Abreu, I'm not being patient. There's something definitely wrong, whether he has now officially gotten old and his body knows about it now. But I mean, one of the best stats that you have is the last time Jose Abreu hit a home run, it was September 13th, 2022. That's not going to fly in Houston. They have too good of a farm system. They have too good of, of the ability to trade for them to wait. The thing is he came with such fanfare to Houston with that, with the ability to, hit out of that park and having the short porch and having all these different aspects of it, right? The analysis was glowing. He was going to find a way to just be in this great Masters lineup, and he's been awful. And
they always hit for average. His OBP was always good. It's just everything is freaking terrible for him right now.
And I mean, his strikeouts are high. I mean, his OBP is 268 right now. I mean, that's just ridiculous low. But the key here is His slugging is 264. It's lower than his OBP. That's just
I don't
nuts.
know how many times I've seen that. Not very many. Let's put it that way.
Well, especially
not something I go study, but it's definitely not. That's not good.
Right. So he might be platooned. I mean, at some point, right? Or even worse, he might just be like, the bench thing. I mean, he's making too much money to do that. They're gonna hopefully, have some patience with him. But that is somebody who I absolutely, positively would drop. Not a problem. The other people that we talked about, right? Teoscar. As soon as you drop him, I will pick him up. Right?
Yeah, no kidding. There's somebody worse on my team. I guarantee it.
Eloy, same thing. If you drop him, I'm picking him up. Although, again, the stolen bases kind of sucks there. But
yeah, but hopefully you can draft. Right. Hopefully you've drafted around knowing that, Eloy was not a guy that you drafted for steals. I think you're hoping that, with this thing does not want to stay down.
That's what she said.
But, you're knowing you're not going to get steals from it, but with the new rules, I think you're hoping at least one at this point. I mean, we've got some guys that have steals that you're not usually expecting to have steals at this point. Right. Oh, did I just totally screw up?
No.
I think there we go. I just knocked the headphone out and it sounded all scratchy for me.
Do you need a minute? Do you need
no,
a minute?
I don't. I think I got it.
Mike, just cut his video.
Shut up. Commercial break. No, but really though, the whole Houston offense isn't really performing up to par. And I mean, their team WRC plus is 91, so it's below average offense right now in the whole major league out of all the major leagues. And so and we're seeing we've already talked about the White Sox, and you were talking about how kind of bad they are. They're at 87. Sure. I mean, so it's not shocking to see some of these guys on these from these teams on this list already.
But it's a different thing if it's a continuation from last year.
Oh yes,
and that's where Abreu is different. Is going to be different from all the other people on my list, right? They're having the slow starts. Their teams are awful, but I definitely am going to have patience for them. They're on my list of I'm going to watch you, right? You're on my detention list, but Abreu is. I mean, I've cut him already in 2 of my leagues. 10 teamers, but I've cut him because he's just not what I need.
Starting to get to that point. I mean, second half of last year, he only hit 4 home runs.
Right.
That's not good.
This was somebody I was targeting because he's clearly on the downslope of his career, but he was still productive as a first baseman, eligible player, and being able to miss out on the Goldschmidt, the Freeman, the
Vlads.
The Vlads, the Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso's, yeah.
It's like, okay, fine. I'll jump in and I'll go after Abreu. Or even if I had one of the other guys, I could plug him in as a corner infield position. And I had him in both of my Fantrax leagues, and God, he's been so bad. And it's like, oh, you're going to Houston? Oh, what's that? Yuli's not there anymore? You're taking over for him? Oh, okay. I mean, this is a great offense. They just fucking beat my Phillies in the World Series. So good for them, cheaters. So, yeah, great. I like this. I'm gonna go and get him. But God, has he sucked. And I don't know if he will turn it around. I think it's just like, boom, you're now officially old, and you're gonna get benched. So
you've got a guy here next, AJ, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure I totally agree with it. I think he's slumping right now. I will admit with that, but he started off pretty well. Gimenez of Cleveland, second base, obviously not a fantastic position, but his ADP was around 76. His ranking on Fantasy Pros right now for hitters is 96. So when you add in pitchers mixed in with that, obviously. That is probably more in like the 130s, 140s as far as rankings there. So not good, but also I don't know if I'm ready to cut bait with him.
Yeah.
But you seem to differ.
I mean, I'm not cutting bait with him yet, but he was on my list of people.
He's on your shit list
that were annoying me. And, so the leagues I have him in are points leagues. And, again, I waited on second base because I was focusing on other positions and, filling out my roster that way, knowing he'd be able to get me some steals, decent average, OBP. Okay, fine. That doesn't really matter much for points other than, well, if he's hitting the ball, he's at least getting on base.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting me points. So again, I'm not firing him yet, but he's getting a sit down, preemptive review of where he's at right now. But
I'll say this:
it's hard because he's second base, and it's just a shallow position.
I'll say this: there's been some dudes, right, who have come up that were free agents. Ezekiel Duran, like if you want to play the streaming game, with second base, he's there. Terang started off kind of hot. He's really kind of fallen off the wayside, unfortunately, a little bit. Sorry, Dap. That's your boy. But there's some other guys here that have also really stepped up at the second base position and have performed very well. Yeah. And so, if you want to, hell, even Brandon Drury, like who he might have been dropped early in some leagues because people drafted him very late, and he has come on like gangbusters his last week and a half. Man, he has been on crazy fire.
Brandon Babe Ruth Drury. Yep.
So there's some guys that are starting to come up that have multiple position eligibility because they were prospects, and it's kind of what happens a lot. So
another one who's been solid and producing, but he's not necessarily an everyday player. So
sorry, who was that?
Isaac Paredes.
He's
Paradise.
I think he plays enough, but he does platoon a little bit. But he does, But again, like if you could do this type of thing where there's a couple platoon second basemen out there. You could probably mix and match it if you want to hold a couple on your team. And, I get it. Like even coming into the season with Gimenez, like he was one of those guys where it was, man, if I miss on all the other second basemen, like he was sort of the stopgap. He was the last one I really wanted. He was safe, wasn't going to like crush it. Like he was a good middling power speed guy. Felt like he wasn't going to hurt me. He wasn't going to win me anything. But, like, past that, I was kind of like, I don't really have any interest in a lot of these guys past that. But now he's hurting you. Batting average isn't there.
Right.
The home power's not there. The steals are still there, which is nice. Right. But nothing. Run RBIs aren't there. Like, he's got 21 runs. Actually, that's pretty solid. But 8 RBI, like, this not.
Yeah.
It's more bad than good at this point. And so. Yeah,
Well,
I have him in one league, and I picked up Duran for this last few games, and I've actually made the swap. He's just sitting on my bench for a little while, so I get it.
Right. Well, so there's a couple of key things here, right? We know that he's not going to lose his job because his defense is amazing. Mm-hmm. He is one of the top defensive run saves in the league especially for his position. But the other thing, people were expecting Gimenez going away from Eloy, right? Where we weren't expecting steals, but Gimenez, we were expecting tons of steals. And yes, you said that he had 6 steals, but he's had 1 in the last 15 games.
Yeah, he has slowed down. He's slowed down a lot.
Right. That's incredibly concerning. But again, and just thinking about the last 15 games, we're talking about a sub 180 batting average and a sub 280 on base percentage. That's terrible, especially for again a guy that needs to get on base. And just allow other people to get them knocked around. So you're right. There is lots of other choices there. I'm going to play a quick game with both of you guys here. Starting the season or even now, Taylor Walls for Tampa Bay Rays, right? Mm-hmm. Who would you rather have had, Ahmed Rosario or Taylor Walls?
It would have been Rosario
or Walls.
Yeah,
it would have been Rosario to start the year
all day. And Taylor Walls, on the other hand, is now just insane. Like he has he's doing 290, and the guy has hit 5 home runs. Mind you, he hit that I think the last 2 years together.
Yeah.
And I think he hit 5 home runs all of the 2022 and 2021 combined. So, and again, Taylor Walls in a lot of leagues has 3 eligibilities. So, that's another great kind of fill-in piece as well. But this season's crazy right now, especially with the fact that I can't rely on a guy who I thought was speed and and Gimenez, and it was going to just take off.
He can't rely on any pitching apparently.
Yes,
offense is coming out of like nowhere. Jorge Mateo is like MVP level, 6 home runs and 10 steals right now. Like what is going on?
Right. And Taylor Walls, I believe he is, all 6'9", I believe, and 180 pounds.
I love
the
the rest of the season projections for a guy like Taylor Walls right now. It's like he already has 4 and 5, yet they're only going to predict another 6 and 8 for him. What are you expecting to happen here? He's just going to die? Like
he's just going to turn into Joey Wendell. I mean, come on.
Duh. Of course.
The rest of the season projections are rough. I don't envy anybody that does those. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, I would never do that ever. But let me just put this in perspective with Taylor Walls. Right, in 628 at bats in his major league career, he's hitting 14 home runs, and that includes this season. So he's hit 9 home runs before this season. So he's just playing completely out of his mind, or he's changed something, or he's got a great new bat. I mean, this is literally video game-esque stuff considering who he is and who he's been. In almost 1,000 at-bats in the minors, he had 25 home runs. I mean, this outburst is just nuts. So, yeah, ride Taylor Walls all day long as you can, because I don't know where this is coming from right now.
No, I get it. He's probably not going to keep that up, but it is funny that, in a month he's hit 4 home runs and done 5 steals, and then the projections are like just a smidge over that for the rest of the season. And there's like 6 more runs left. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next up here, we're going closer, Ryan Presley, ADP of around 70. And I got to look up what his value is here. It's probably not good for him either. He's near the top of the list. Pitcher 161. So, yeah. Again, I can't. It was hard for me I did this real quick. Couldn't mix in the hitters and pitchers to figure it out as quick as I did this. But yeah, 173 pitcher when he was drafted 86th overall.
Right.
That's no bueno.
There were signs again doing the whole Abreu thing. There were signs to Presley having problems. Right, last season. There was definitely, especially that second half, there's a bunch of blowups. Now, don't get me wrong, the Astros locked it down like they showed for the postseason. But Presley had a lot of kind of streaks there where he was not dominating. And that was concerning considering they signed a lot of big bullpen arms there. They had Abreu and they have Montero and they have all those other big arms there that they signed up big deals. So to me, it said that like he does not have a long leash and they're willing to kind of mix and match there as needed. 3 saves? That's not what you're expecting when you were picking him early in that first round. And I think probably one of the top 5 closers off the board.
Yeah, absolutely he was.
Yeah, right.
Now, he was injured, so that also plays into it with Presley. But the production just isn't there yet. I agree with that. So I've been watching him to see if he's going to be rebounding at all, and I'm just not impressed and not going after him right now because he's just not doing it. And the one league that I'm really watching him in, I need relief pitching badly. So It's been very hard to be like, but there's another guy who we'll talk about here a little later that I might have to go and snag. Next guy that I have listed here is another position player, and that's Gunnar Henderson. Hurts to say it, being an O's fan and wearing an O's shirt. Again, it's probably not someone I'm dropping yet, but he was like 88 ADP.
I think we talked about this.
More.
We talked about this on our third base preview show. I wanted nothing to do with Gunnar Henderson. A screamed Eric Hosmer-ish to me. He really did. He was like, yeah, I get the potential. I get he's had really good success in the minor leagues. But it was like, you knew what it was all the really good third basemen you knew went ahead of him pretty early. Like there was like 5 or 6 in the top 3 rounds. Then there was like a small gap, and it was Bregman. And then there was another small gap, and it was Gunnar Henderson. And then there was like a much larger gap after that, and it was Max Muncy. And how many people are going, wish I just waited for Max Muncy? But it was like Henderson was like that, oh no, I don't want that teardrop, that I don't want to drop to that next tier of third baseman where it looks really, really bad. So I'm going to get this guy who really hadn't proved anything in the majors and think that, oh, he's all of a sudden going to be a superstar and he's like the next guy. I was like, I'm not willing to take that risk. And right now I'm looking pretty good. Like I'm looking really good on that call. There's a lot of baseball to be left to play, and the Orioles offense is crushing it right now. So he just hasn't helped. Unfortunately, batting 182, it's horrendous. His OBP's really good. Congrats.
Yeah, that's not the league that I own.
That's about it.
So I don't really care.
Strikeouts at 30%. He's walking a ton. That's about the only thing that's helping his OBP. So
yeah,
right.
I mean the walks are nice. He's still only has 1 steal. Okay, great. 4 RBIs, 2 home runs.
His home run to fly ball rate is 11%.
Believe that's
not good.
Today.
Dappy looked like you got a couple of things to say.
Today he did have a nice day.
So Gunner's hit 2 home runs, 1 today and 1 yesterday. So he's definitely seems like he's hitting up the plate, right? He's 400 OBP in the last 7 games.
They are playing
like
the Royals.
He's a rookie.
That helps.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean,
Sorry, Royals fans.
Yeah, you're supposed to beat up on bad teams, right? And if you don't, then what are you doing? But at the same time, when you draft a rookie, you better expect that they're going to have cold spells, right? And this is definitely one of them, or kind of figuring things out again. But if anybody drops Gunner, I'm all over.
No, they probably won't.
Yeah,
too much draft capital, and there wasn't enough. Right. There was like, I doubt anybody took him and was like, oh, I'm going to take like a backup third baseman. Like in a lot of leagues, that just didn't happen.
Right. So. But you could, if you're out there in a league, if you get Gunnar Henderson in any type of, if I'm able to, just send some second or third starter and maybe, throw an outfielder or an infielder in there as well, I would do that in a heartbeat because Gunnar Henderson is going to heat up. I firmly believe in his pedigree. Unlike Joe, I'm a believer of the Gunner. And I think this guy's going to just do great things. His home ballpark kind of sucks because of, it's sat power, but yeah, like you said, the Orioles are going to start taking flight here, and I have no doubts that he's going to shoot up here. But yes, his start's been horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it was just that I knew the pedigree was there, I knew the talent is there. It just this didn't feel like the year for me. I wanted to let him get a year under his belt. I don't know why. It just felt odd where he was going in drafts. If you can get him for a discount, absolutely, I'll take a chance on him. But yeah, I don't know if people are doing that. Your last player, and then we got to probably speed this up a little bit, Dap, is a guy who was just outside the top 100, so we're cheating a little bit, but it's okay. Christian Walker.
Cut him.
Yeah, I mean,
that's really what it comes down to. I mean, people were still talking up Christian Walker, this offseason as somebody who, was in the top 10 outfielders. Look, outfield was definitely one of those that dropped off quick, but Christian Walker already was somebody who was supposed to be kind of a power speed combo guy, and he's definitely not that, and he's definitely not an elite outfielder in any stretch of imagination. Now, in the last 11 games, of course I say that, right? He's heated up and he's hitting 5 home runs, 372 average, 14 RBIs, which is what we expect from a streaky hitter like Christian Walker. But there is so many other players out there and that you can grab for the outfield that can give you this kind of, if you want streaky. I mean,
was he outfield or was he first base?
In some leagues, he's still outfield at first base.
Okay.
Sorry, that's where I had him. But yes, you're right. He at first base. I mean, God, we talked about Abreu and Walker. That if you have one of those, yikes. because some people were waiting after the Goldschmidts and even the Abreus, right? They were going to pick up, Christian Walker and put him in there. But yeah, I mean, maybe, it's starting to heat up and he could do that, but I would not for the life of me be keeping him on. Like I would be one of those where I'd pick him up off the waiver wire, keep him while he's hot and then drop him again. Christian Walker, like your Gunnar Henderson, Christian Walker is not somebody I believe in at all.
All right. Fair enough. And AJ, you got two here. We're just going to lump them in together here.
Last two.
Ryan Helsley and Logan Gilbert.
Yeah, and again, of those two, Gilbert's one I'm holding on to, but he's kind of getting to that point. I mean, he's only got one win. He's been okay, but based on the draft stock, for me at least, the ADP that we have on here is 112, 113, but I went after him much earlier in the one league I'm looking at here because it's a more pitcher heavy league. So, and same thing with Helsley. I actually don't own him in that league, but he was supposed to be the guy for, a pretty good St. Louis team. He's just not getting it done. So,
he's been really bad.
I'm definitely fine cutting him and moving on.
Gilbert's strikeouts are at least kind of saving him, but the 4 ERA right now is pretty brutal. But man, we've got some pretty brutal ERAs for some top notch guys. Scherzer, one of them, like just awful. Like I don't know what to do with some of these guys, man. It's been a really strange year for pitching. Baseball needs to stop messing with the ball. That's all I gotta say, man. Just let us be able to predict something for once going forward. Just stop it. All right, so jumping in here, AJ. I think this is gonna be your spot to kind of rant and have some fun here a little bit. Bryce Harper's coming back. Maybe a little too early.
He already is back. He is back.
Oh yeah. Oh, did he? Yeah,
he came back on Tuesday.
Yep.
For some reason, I thought it was like next Tuesday, but either way,
60 some. I mean, the date's right there, literally on the sheet. Tuesday, 5/2. That was.
I'm
2 days
I'm
ago.
pretending I'm you this week and not reading.
May the 4th is today. May that be with you. Today, yesterday, 5/3. Okay. That's 8 together. Overall, he started off not real hot. Came back first day, went 0 for 4. Phillies got creamsicled by the Dodgers in game 2 of that matchup in LA. 3 Ks. Okay, all right. First game back, he's a little rusty, understandable. Then comes yesterday, and he goes 3 for 3 with a double, 2 singles, no strikeouts. So that's a bonus. 2 runs and 2 walks. And he was pissed off after that game. Now, this was a game that Aaron Nola came in and pitched well to start the game. Slowly but surely ended up, giving away some runs. And he left the game still with the lead, but then Phillies bullpen choked and gave the game away. Craig Kimbrell giving up a grand slam walk-off to, I believe it was Muncy, Mr. Leader in the third base rankings right now.
Leader in everything right now. This is a monster.
So, but Harper was so pissed. Listening to some of the interview and post-game talk and stuff, and he was just like, can't happen, cannot happen. This can't happen, and this will not happen again. Basically is.
Can it happen, AJ?
I don't know. What exactly.
You said it can't happen like 4 times, so I'm just.
No,
sorry, I'm just making fun of you.
That
so it can't happen again. Do you guys get this at all? Ever?
Like
AJ,
cameras
not
off,
please.
Off.
I can't save you.
No, just shut the cameras off and I'll talk by myself so I don't have to listen to this. Anyway, so yeah, I mean it's good for him to be back, and I'll just cut myself out then. You know what? Fuck you guys.
I'm sorry.
Wait, I am home.
This is where we need the drop of Cartman from South Park going.
Ski guys going up.
Copyright infringement. I don't believe we should do that.
I mean, like the beer wouldn't be. YouTube, don't listen to AJ.
Anyway,
he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not a lawyer. Not a lawyer.
Anyway, so okay, so
Emma Coxman.
Let me ask you a question. So, what do we, knowing the injury that he's coming back from, what do we expect from Harper the rest of the year? Knowing he came back a lot earlier than I think a lot of people thought.
160 or so days.
This is like the shortest return from this injury, I think, ever, is what I heard from somebody. I forget who I heard
very,
from.
Very T.O.-esque.
Adrian Peterson-esque when he came back years ago after like 8 months from a torn ACL and dominated. But, like, do we expect Bryce Harper to be Bryce Harper, or are we just going to get kind of a player kind of the rest of the way?
No, I think we will get the Bryce Harper we know. I mean, again, the tone that he was setting in that interview, and the fact that he's pissed off. It's like, hey, assholes, I'm back, and this is what you're gonna do. Like, no, not happening on my watch. Just the leadership.
Whole offense is sort of meh right now.
They are, and Thompson's been tweaking the lineup way more than he needs to this year. And he just needs to freaking pick something and go. Part of it is, being able to tell Schwarber, hey, we know you start slow, but we're dropping your ass in the order. Like, sorry, until you start performing, then you can come back up and be leadoff or, be next to leadoff, whatever it is. Turner has been absolute garbage lately. So far too. So it's, the team's just not looking good.
Realmuto's not been good. It's been weird. No.
I mean, I'm not overly concerned with it yet, especially the fact that Harper just got back. He's going to be hopefully coming into form here and not, take as long as he did last year when he came back. But you still have the 3 wild cards. This is exactly what the Phillies did last year. They stumbled in, luckily, to the wild card. That's all you need to do. You just need to make the damn playoffs, and then you can go on a run. So, I don't know if I fully see that happening this year again, but I'm hopeful for it. So,
I mean,
we'll see.
Sorry to say, but when Brandon Marsh has been your best offensive player to the season, probably not doing awesome. But I mean, he's a good player, but that's not the guy you need to be. That's not the guy you pay to be your best offensive player. I don't know, Dab, you got any quick thoughts before we move on to the next?
No, I don't want to say too much more Philly stuff, but I do want to give you a fun stat.
Sure.
Bryce Harper returned before the Oakland A's got a win from a starting pitcher. So since Bryce Harper's been gone, the Oakland A's starting pitchers have not gotten a single win. So that tells you just how quick Bryce returned. As in like when he left, and now that he's back, that span.
Wow, that's incredible.
Does that make you want to break out the Tito's big bottle?
I'm not saying that I don't have an IV of Tito's right now in my veins. Tito's makes Oakland A's suck a little less.
Love it. That's fantastic. All right, so let's move over here to some call-ups that are, you guys wrote these notes a couple of days ago, so that are coming, but that have happened, some of them.
Yep.
You know what? I'm just going to let you guys figure out who you want to talk about here, because there's a lot here, and
it's pretty
mostly
simple here.
Bad, actually. Gavin Stone got crushed.
Yep.
Brandon Pfaadt got even more crushed.
Right.
He got
Bryce Miller
and got a fat lip.
Michael Garcia, Tanner
Bryce
Bibby,
Miller,
JJ Bleday,
Yeah.
Those guys might be on their way up, but I mean, the first couple just got rocked. And are back down, I think. Subsequent moves.
So, the first thing that hurt me, right, let's just be honest, is Brandon Pfaadt, because I was so excited. I had so many puns ready to go. Like, that was a fat start. I can't believe how fat he is. PHAT, of course, or PFAADT. But he was awful. Not only was he... Yeah, not only was he awful, but, I mean, nobody was missing anything. I mean, his CSW, right, which is called strikes or swinging strikes, was only 28%, and he was getting some whiffs on his slider and change, but all the other, I mean, they got hammered as well. So it's not like any of his stuff. He, again, going back to our previous show before you cheated on me with football, we had talked about how he had set these amazing strikeout marks at some of the worst hitter-friendly environments. And he was just awful. So that's the first one that just blew my mind. I couldn't believe how bad that was, considering, again, in Arizona. But if you have him, keep him. I expect that to be an anomaly. And if you pick up a young arm like that, unless you're just trying to do like an injury fill, you typically should wait. And then the other one there, right, Bryce, with Gavin Stone. Dodgers have become Cleveland-esque in their ability to kind of bring up these starting pitchers and, have great results. And Gavin Stone was just terrible as well. 4 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs. The key here, 1 strikeout, just 1. Which,
he was rough in the minors this year so far. I mean, the strikeouts were there in the minors, but the ERA was pretty bad. He had a couple of good starts right before his call-up.
Right.
He's already been sent back down, so I picked him up and then was like, oh, that was fun. Dropped you.
Right.
I'm not in a super deep league, so he'll hang around for a little while. Hopefully, I can snag him back up later. I do believe in him, but that was not a fun start.
But once you get past, kind of those, and again, Mike Curlin's awesome regression monster doing yums, and then people fighting him in the comments saying that's not regression, and he's like, I really don't care. It's a GIF. That's always funny.
I don't care about your feelings.
But we've seen also people that suck when they get called up, get sent back down. I mean, we've seen this countless times. Look, pitching in the majors is hard. The problem is that we've seen too many of these other prospects get called up and then have instant success, and people think that's the case.
Bradley.
Right? Tosh Bradley, right?
Logan Allen.
But look at like Bryce Miller, right? Who's having success.
I was just going to say him too.
Right. And it's a people like, or Tanner Beebe, right? Again, having success. I mean, not to the Bryce Miller level, but having success. Everybody's like, well, it's just the next top prospect. It's hard to pitch in the majors. These guys will crush your mistakes. And they will wait. If you have one good pitch, they'll just be like, throw that pitch. I'm not going to swing at it, and I'm going to crush your fastball. If you got an amazing slider that I can't hit, I'm going to just wait till you throw something that I can. And they're going to crush it. So, JJ Bleday is a great case for that kind of that waiting, right? He was terrible last year. Mm-hmm. He was terrible at the beginning of this year because he got sent down to the minors, and he's come up pretty strong. He's showing that he's kind of has that ability. Now, do the A's wish they had AJ Puck back? Maybe. Yeah, that probably AJ Puck looks pretty good as the closer for the Marlins. Yeah, but JJ Bleday. Puck did, or I mean, he's a closer. They're always gonna get lit up. But I would rather have.
I just picked him up.
Stop doing that.
Good job, AJ. You put the curse on him.
But yeah, Bleday though.
I have the doll now, not you. Not supposed to.
Yeah, but I gave it to you. So.
Bleday, sorry.
It's okay. Bleday, started off rough, especially again in AAA. That was supposed to be huge, and he now had more strikeouts. Sorry, more walks than strikeouts right at the end. He's starting to get hot, and so I definitely see this as an ability. It's Oakland. They have nobody to kind of push anybody. I think Bleday has a chance to really light it up there. So you have Bleday, you had Beatty, and then Michael Garcia. So going back to Pfaadt, Michael lit up Pfaadt for a home run, and he has been killing it right now. And that's somebody that's not getting the fanfare of these other guys, right? Stone, Fat, fine. BB, you probably have heard of. Blade had a little bit of fanfare there. Miguel Garcia, I'll be honest with you, unless you're a deep dynasty guy, I'll know about him, but I'm sure most of our viewers aren't. Go pick him up. The guy's hot. he's out there. He's 3 for 7 since the last call up, and he's showing some impressive power as well. And again, he's the Royals. It's not like he's getting pushed by a lot of players out there. He's going to have some length to his call up here. That's definitely a guy that I would definitely go out and pick up, and he's probably could be had for cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
so on the flip side of this, we've had some of these prospects, they're not even some of them not even prospects. We've seen some guys get demoted that I think was a little shocking. Some of them not so much. Start off here with Taj Bradley. This one, he came up, had 2 fantastic starts. They sent him down. It was, I want to say, not yet 10 days ago, so he's not back up. But all reports are saying that he's coming back almost as soon as possible because they're trying to get him back on a 5-day schedule instead of the 6-day schedule that he was kind of on, which is good. I have him in a league, and I've just held on to him through it because there's no way I'm letting Taj Bradley go. I'll never get him back. And so, I'm always careful with prospect pitchers because you never quite know how many innings you're going to get.
Right.
I think Bradley's one of the safer ones. There's talk that he could get you 140, 150 innings this year because of how many he's thrown in previous years combined. And so if you look at 2022, he threw for, if I could do math here real quick, 135, 133. You easily can bump that up to 150, right? And that's a good number. You could even go 155, 160. And if the Rays manage that throughout the year, they set him down just for a little bit, and they're going to let him, pitch in the minors, a little easier workload there. He can come up and he'll pitch through at least mid-August. And if they're a playoff team, they're gonna figure out how to make him go the whole year. So he's a guy that I'm totally in on the rest of the season. I don't know if you guys disagree or we can just move on to.
No, the only problem I have, 133 innings last year, you could typically be pretty safe about saying about 10% increase in workload, right? So let's say it's, again, going back to say 150. That's fine. My biggest issue is it's the Rays. So they could quickly put Taj as a closer, which is fine, right? Because we all want saves. But, he suddenly becomes the power arm because they're trying to figure it out. Right now, for example, right? They put him in the minors to help him get on the normal rest schedule. The Rays do not care about your fantasy team.
No, of course not.
That's the main thing. But do I want Taj Bradley? Absolutely. He was a little hittable, with a 300 plus average for, batters against him, but his strikeouts are legit. His ability to, not walk batters is legit. I'm just going to be very interested to see how kind of Tampa Bay plays with them because they do. Tampa Bay, so they have a ton of arms as well. Yeah. But yes, I would definitely have him on my team if I have a spot for him. If I have a deep enough roster him and forget it.
Yeah, I would be fine if they put him out there and let him go 5 2/3 every single game. I don't care. That's how you hold back his innings. You're going to get 8 strikeouts every single time he goes out there with that many innings, if not more.
Right.
It feels like, right? He dominated. Yes, he is a rookie pitcher. As we just alluded to, he's going to get rocked eventually, if not multiple times. It's just inevitable. But yeah, you talked about the batting average. I get it, but, and his left on base percentage is really high, but that's because he can just strike people out. So he'll allow the occasional single, double, whatever. Right. But because he doesn't walk people, it doesn't snowball like crazy for him because he'll just strike out the next 2 batters and be like, who cares? Go to first. Good luck. That's what it feels like with him. And, we got another guy here, talk of the draft season, Mr. Jordan Walker.
Right.
Everybody wanted this guy, and for good reason. He's an absolute stud. Didn't play bad, just got outplayed and had nowhere to go. Nolan Gorman was like, wait, you're bringing up who? What about me? Yeah. Nolan Gorman was like, I can play. I'm going to take this DH role. Bye. And so that's what they did. They sent him down to get playing time. Fantasy managers are pissed, but I don't disagree with the move, honestly, for St. Louis.
Look, if you would have told me Nolan Gorman was, I was clowning Nolan, right? He was up there with Taylor Walls before the season. I wasn't expecting either one of those guys to hit, and Nolan went Jordan Walker-esque, and he's just hitting everything. But the thing is the reason why St. Louis sent him down, it wasn't to work on his, to get more reps with his swing, absolutely. But it's because they want him to work on his defense so he becomes versatile, so they can plug him other places. Because Nolan Gorman ran away with kind of that with his bat, they need Jordan Walker to fill in elsewhere. Can
I cut you off for just a second?
Of course.
I just saw this. Nolan Gorman was removed from Thursdays. That's right today. People that are watching this late.
Oh, no.
Due to lower back tightness. So it could just be nothing. Could just be, regular.
Yeah.
But you never know. So maybe this is the reopening of the Jordan Walker. So if he did get dropped in your league, you need to be looking out. Maybe just take the gamble and just go pick him up now just in case, because Walker will be good. But, Gorman's been a monster. To say the least.
Yeah. The next, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
No, there's a whole bunch of people here, so I don't know if
continue. But yeah, the next group we have here, Oscar Colas.
So I'm wearing my Cuba jersey. Just let everybody know I'm Cuban, and my family went to Cuba, and the only thing they gave me back was this jersey a couple of years ago. So I wanted some Oscar Colas because I have an Oscar, not this one. This is Maleta, but I have an Oscar Colas jersey, and I wanted some of that because I thought this was going to be exciting, Jordan Walker-esque player. And then he decided to show me that the whole White Sox team is just awful. He was up there with them. He was just terrible. He needs some reps.
Hot, and then he's like, come on, guys. And then he's like, oh, wait, is this how we're supposed to do it?
Exactly.
Play like absolute dog shit? Okay.
Right. Because didn't
they lose like 10 in a row or something? Or they were about to?
Probably.
I can't remember. Tony's been terrible as a manager this year. Sorry.
You mean just this year?
It's not Tony's fault. It's all Tony's fault. He's had an incredibly long slump, like you said, right? And he's not playing much either. 332 OPS. That's on base plus slugging. If that's below 500, it's terrible. 300, and that's just ungodly bad. So I still believe in his upside. But unlike Walker, I don't expect Colas back up at least for a month, unless there's a rash of injuries. Eloy Jimenez, hello. But I don't expect Oscar Colas back anytime soon. So he's a safe drop for me right now. I'd keep an eye on him. Yeah, but he's definitely a safe drop.
Sorry, I gave the White Sox credit. It was actually 12 straight.
Oh.
Shockingly, the one game the team they snapped the streak on, the Rays.
Huh?
Oh, that's right. I do.
Yeah. It was like a 12-9 game. They came back from like 7 down to win that damn game. I remember watching it, being like, "What the hell is happening right now?" Anyway, so a few other guys here, a couple of pitchers: AJ Brian Bello of Boston and Dre Jameson of Arizona. Bello's. I feel like he's a fairly highly talented prospect for the Red Sox that just can't quite figure it out in the pros. No. And Jameson,
Yeah, he was kind of the immediate fill-in before Fat Stacks came up, and he was decent in like a start, maybe 2, but then he just started getting rocked. I was like, all right, you're out. moving on. And then his teammate, Jake McCarthy, also got sent down.
That one.
That was a bit of a shock, but again, not terribly shocking. As a former, guy that I rostered.
So it's your fault. I mean, so now we know.
I
so
cut
now
him
we
weeks
know.
ago.
It's always your fault.
Hey, guess what? I had Jameson too.
I will say this.
Good start.
I will say this. I mean, like,
sweet.
McCarthy. Look, I was a fan of McCarthy coming into the season. I really was. I didn't think he was going to. I didn't expect power to be his thing, but hit for good average. If you're in an OBP league, pretty good. You thought the steals were going to be there. He sold 23 in 99 games last year. He still hit 8 bombs in 99, so you expect maybe, I don't know, 12, 13, 14. You're expecting, especially with the new rules, what? 30 to 35 bags maybe now. Well, now that we know kind of how everybody's going crazy, but maybe before the season you're expecting, all right, maybe ceiling 30, 99 games, maybe 40 actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, that's what the projections were. Right. And man, he couldn't get on base. It was awful. And the Diamondbacks, like, it's not like fantastic talent, but they do have a fairly deep outfield.
Yes.
With Corbin Carroll, they could bring up Alec Thomas, who is just kind of always just a dude. Like, he just always seems to be
especially
okay.
Best ball. Alec Thomas, best ball.
Lourdes Gurriel, is there, like,
sure,
fine. Pavin Smith can be there and play some outfield as well. Like, not like fantastic, but man, when you've got a guy who can only hit like $180 right now, right. You're gonna send him down and let him figure some things out if you got those options left, and that's exactly what Arizona did. So,
Drake Jameson though, it was really surprising to me because he was in that that 5th starter sweepstakes there between the 3 pitchers that they had, and he was averaging over 100 miles an hour on his pitches. The thing is, I expected Dre to become a closer or a bullpen piece if he could make it as a starting pitcher, but he was so bad that I was actually taking late round flyers on him just because, if he was a closer or a starting pitcher, obviously it's beneficial either way. Just terrible. And he definitely needs to go work on some things, but he has the potential to really be a great closer in the future. Like, Matt Brash-esque. That he doesn't have a filthy slider, but he definitely has a lot of amazing speed, a lot of power pitching as well. But, he hasn't been good. And Jake McCarthy's a huge disappointment. Bello, on the other hand, you kind of mentioned him. Like you said, I was out on him after he just has yet to show any mastery of being able to, go through that go through that lineup a second or third time. Has yet to show kind of that he can do that.
Yeah, he started today though. So did he go down? I saw he started today.
Bello?
Yeah, he's 5 innings, allowed 2 earned runs,
what?
5 strikeouts.
2? Only 2?
But it was 4 runs, so it must have been off an error.
Oh, there you go.
But anyway, so I mean that's not bad. But he has games like that, man. Then he'll come back the next game, and you're like, "Oh, thanks for the 10 earned runs, jackass." Right. it's like the Happy Gilmore, jackass.
Right.
And
then he only had like 3 strikeouts, right? Like in the the Brewers, he only had 3 strikeouts, which you're like, you're a power pitcher. What are you doing with only 3 strikeouts?
He goes down to the minors and strikes out like 15 batters a game, and you're like,
right.
Okay, thanks, man. So I want to just lump these last guys in, and Dap, let you lead the way here. Edward Julian, Minnesota, obviously was a hot topic there for a while. Yes. Big, a lot of fab spent on him, and that did not work out very well. Had like 2 good games to start. Montero from Colorado, Ramos from San Francisco, and Brujan from Tampa Bay. I'm going to take a wild guess and say a lot of people listening to this show probably don't know who Montero and Ramos are. Maybe Ramos. I know that name more than I know Montero's.
Prospects.
Vidal Brujan, I do know for sure. But like, what are we expecting from these guys for the rest of the year? Like, maybe just pick one and
well, yeah. So I mean, look, Vidal Brujan was sorry. I just had to. It was he's Taylor Walls-esque, right? Great defense. Didn't expect much from the bat, but suddenly.
Can we have a counter how many times Dap's going to say Taylor Walls on this show?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm so mad. I dropped him in so many dynasty leagues. Taylor Walls. And
I did too, man. I had him in the league we share.
I'm bringing it up because I'm so mad at him right now.
We didn't keep him.
Yeah. So
now I'm smashing it. But
Edward Julian is a name that you need to know. If you don't know about him, he was always going to be kind of the first call up. He's a bat first prospect. He's amazing with his bat. They didn't give him much leeway there because it's the Twins and they have a lot to call up there. I mean, they are stacked right now. But Julian's going to be up again, and Edward Julian's somebody you should definitely think. The one that was surprising to me is Montero, because when Montero came up, I mean, Colorado outfield, you're thinking bombs away, and maybe he had a hit.
It hasn't happened yet for that offense. I don't know if is it super cold in Colorado like it is out here right now? Because damn, dude, their offense is ranked one of the worst in baseball right now, and you don't usually see that from a Colorado team because they just play at home and they just smash it. But they are horrendous, and I even looked at their home road splits. It's dead even, and you're no, they're just bad everywhere right now. Good job, Colorado.
So what you're saying, if I can understand this correctly, is that Colorado is as cold as the Yankees?
Segue. Love it.
Not as hot as
the A's.
Walls.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I set you up. I love this.
Fingers going.
He tried.
It's not Taylor Walls-esque.
All right. So, segue here to the Yankees real quick here. So, big news this week. Aaron Judge put on the IL. I don't remember how long he's going to be out. Did they say?
I thought he was on the 10th, but maybe not.
I don't know. Anyway, so he's out. But, I mean, this offense is actually struggling, even with him in it recently. I'm looking at the WRC Plus rankings, just a gauge I like to use for just kind of lumping a lot of offensive stats together. They are the 23rd ranked offense in baseball with a WRC Plus of 89. They are ahead of the White Sox, who we've already mentioned suck right now. The Nationals, not good. The Reds, not good. The Indians, which I'm actually kind of surprised to see down there, although we mentioned how Gimenez not doing good. The Tigers, we know they're not good. Colorado, we just talked about them. And then the lowly Royals. Shockingly, Oakland's ahead of them.
I was about to ask you.
I was going to give you credit for that. Oakland's right in the middle. They're 19, 18. Not too bad.
So Judge is expected to possibly return May 8th when first eligible.
I was gonna say it didn't sound like it was super serious, but I don't what's going on with this team right now. I mean, they are dealing with a bunch of injuries. I do know that. I think it's Stanton hurt too, or was he? Yes, I think Stanton's out too.
Stanton, I think, woke up hurt.
Sense.
I think he's
he sneezed. I don't know.
Yeah, he's been playing hurt for the last decade.
He sneezed and farted at the same time.
Back wrong.
He's
I don't know.
Still confused at what's going on.
Volpe has not figured it out. We talked just a couple shows ago where when he got moved to the leadoff spot, he kind of got hot real quick. He's cooled back off. So that I'm just waiting for the day where he joins the demotions list because it's got to happen soon. I don't imagine the Yankees are going to have much patience for this. They can't. They were last in the division a few days ago. I don't know if they still are, but it's not good. They still are. They are still last in the division. And
then you have some of the other call-ups too, right? Oswaldo Cabrera, not Oswald Peraza, but Oswaldo Cabrera has been a fun interview, and everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's got such great," but he's been terrible with the bat.
This is awful.
Yeah, I mean, and the other fun thing is, if you look at runs scored, they're in the bottom, 10, right? We're talking about the Yankees have scored 126 runs, and if you look at The next one down is Colorado, 125, and there's Oakland at 116. If you can't even score runs, I mean, forget the home runs and all that other fun stuff. You can't even score runs. And you're in 23rd. This is a huge problem, and there's going to have to be a shakeup. They're going to have to make an acquisition. There's going to be something. I don't think this is just cold, batters. No, I think there's a deeper problem here.
When you look at their lineup, I'm looking at it right now, and of course, it doesn't have Judge or Stanton in it, and that sure. Massive difference there when you add them in it. But when you look at it from top to bottom, Volpe, Gleyber Torres, Rizzo, LeMahieu. Yeah, you're gonna slide Judge and Stanton in there, so fine. Go Volpe, go Judge, go Stanton, Torres, Rizzo, whatever, LeMahieu. So maybe a solid top 5, although I'm not sold on Volpe yet. Man, after that, Willie Calhoun, Harrison Bader, Jake Bauers, Jose Trevino, then our aforementioned Oswaldo Cabrera. Like, it just doesn't feel like a Yankee lineup right now. And it's showing. Because, I mean, Judge and Stanton literally just got hurt. So, like, this isn't well, Stanton's been out for a couple weeks, but, like,
Stanton's he was seen jogging, I believe, recently. So
wait, did you say jogging?
Yes, jogging. It's a soft J.
All right, Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. So, but I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I mean, Willie Calhoun. I mean, he was big back when he was with the Rangers as a top prospect, but he never came out. Jake Bauers, who's a failed prospect for the Cleveland Indians, is playing way too much right now. Because he's in the lineup once, he's playing way too much. You have all, the rate, the Rizzos of the world and things of that you're expecting them to play and have those big starting pitching, and they're not having that. Even Cole's getting kind of roughed around sometimes. It's a mess. But the thing is, and this is the part that I hate, because I hate the Yankees because I'm an Oakland A's fan and they're everything evil in this world. But they're going to figure it out, or they're going to throw money at it. It's too early, and this is one of those things. But I expect a huge roster turnover. I expect a lot of changes. If you're holding on to any of these fringe guys, Oswaldo Cabrera, things of that nature, expect them to be demoted quickly. So that is not somebody you want to hold. I know Oswaldo was considered like a sleeper candidate. Peraza, I don't think has much longer of a leash, and Volpe probably does. But again, if they're not going to contribute, they have no problems demoting these guys and calling somebody else up. It's how it is.
We talked about it on a couple weeks ago, right? We talked about Volpe going into the top spot. Might have even been the week before that, though, where we talked about how if he can't figure it out, they're going to call up Peraza and just like play him. Well, they did call up Peraza and they're still playing Volpe. Like,
right.
Oh, sure. Like, I don't get it, but you're doing it, guys.
Well, I think the thing is that, once you start demoting, rookie, you start having a much bigger thing, right? Not only is he not hitting, but now he's got to think about the fact he's being demoted and moving those things. So I think they're trying not to play with his head too much and trying to show like, we support you, go for it. But yeah, if he doesn't start showing, thank you for trusting me, a type of, performances. Yeah, I'm concerned about his.
But after a while, like, something's off. Go down, go figure it out, come back, and just be the better player. That's what I say. After a while, like, it's a business, you got to perform. So, let's finish off here with quick save holds candidates to consider if you are in some save holds leagues.
Look, these are my notes, but yeah, you can read them, I guess.
Oh, are they? So I assumed they.
I always assume AJ does nothing.
Dap is the big save holes guy.
That is pretty true. The one guy I was going to highlight here, and I'm going to just call it one name, and I'll let AJ call the rest of his notes. The one person I really want to call out here is Mark Leiter Jr. Son of the famous Leiter, New York Mets, pitcher.
Ow.
Last year, he, was giving a lot of holds, but his overall stats were terrible. I thought for sure he wasn't going to be kind of relied upon. And in spring training, he was showing some life. But right now, he has 7 holds, and he has a fantastic whip and an ERA under 1.5. for for that, I mean, definitely, and it's in Chicago where they don't really have a lot going on. They're still kind of trying to figure out where all the pieces fit. Leiter definitely has a hold on, seventh, eighth inning, and he might even be pushing his way up to higher leverage situations. They definitely trust him. They're putting him in, anytime there's trouble. So I definitely would go out and grab Leiter wherever you can. Just another quick thing here. You want any part of that Orioles bullpen. The Orioles have.
So what? Wait.
Yep. I'm sorry. I just wanted to quickly.
Did I hear that wrong? Felix Bautista is like the greatest closer in the world. What?
Yeah, I know.
You were trying to talk me off of him so bad. Sorry.
I deserve that. I deserve that. But look, man, what I didn't expect. I mean, look, Batista's blown a save or two. I think I text you on those, but that's also like me saying, like, look, your girlfriend has a zit, like, it's going to go away. You want if you're in a holds and saves league, you better have one of the 6th, 7th, or 8th options, 8th inning options in the Orioles bullpen. They are lights out, and there's a great article in The Athletic where they call it how the Orioles put together a bullpen of bullies. I think it's phenomenal. So yeah, I've picked up almost all the Orioles in my leagues. And again,
I hope you're not picking up the Royals. That's not good managing. No. Maybe
right. So Mike Bauman, obviously Bautista, and then of course you got Brian Baker. But my personal favorite, is Cano.
Cano, yeah, the bully.
It was so
phenomenal.
Good. I don't think he's given up a run yet. I think he's 11 innings, no runs, and he hasn't given up a walk, which is exactly what you want from a late innings holds guy, right? The walks are the key. You don't want a heart attack. You want a guy to go out there and just strike him out, throw strikes. Cano is amazing. If you are in a holds league, grab you some Cano. The non-PED.
13 strikeouts, no runs. I'm trying to find his walks. Where the hell is walks on here? No walks.
Has he given up a hit? Because last time I checked, he hadn't given up even a hit yet.
One hit.
No, he sucks. Drop him.
Oh man, it's game
Forget
over.
Everything I just said. Cut that guy. He is garbage. He is the PED Cano.
Yes, Joe.
Smellier.
I have to apologize. You're right. Batista's awesome. Even that failed save. He's awesome. He's
the
much
failed
better.
saves early on, like they weren't his fault, which was funny. They were all of the errors, and then he just got saddled with the earned runs, and you were like, or the blown saves, and you were like, damn it. Like the one dude who like dropped the ball in the outfield.
Doesn't matter. It was because of the way Batista pitches. That's why he dropped it. Yeah,
it was that outfielder. He looked at Bautista pitch and he was like,
that's terrible. That's terrible.
I lost it. Oh.
K per 9 rate of 16. Eat it. All right, AJ. Let's finish it up.
Anyway, so just kicking back on Leiter, and it's actually kind of funny because as I was writing these out, I was like, wow, all of these guys have the exact same freaking whip over the last 2 weeks or so. They've given up 2 hits and 1 walk, so .644 whip for Carlos Estevez in LA. The same whip for Mr. Leiter, who we just talked about, and also the same for Mr. Hunter Harvey, former Orioles bullpen guy, now just down the road in Washington. So Estevez is probably not likely someone you're going to get, and this is going off of Fantrax ownership, which is
he's the closer now, right? Because Quesadilla is out for the season.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Wait, what's that? Who's out?
Quesadilla.
There's a guy named Quesadilla.
No,
it's Quijada, but Quesadilla sounds way better.
Okay. Yes. So. Yeah, and I was looking at that.
I was expecting to go into his mouth.
It's not Taco Tuesday. It's Quesadilla Thursday, apparently. Anyway, Estevez is definitely going up in ownership. What? Estevez.
No. I was upset.
We're still just laughing
Tuesday.
about you didn't get
Taco
it.
Tuesday. Yes.
Got it.
The Utes. Go ahead.
Yes. But he is the guy that I was looking at for one of my other leagues because he actually is not owned in that league, and I was like,
Oh, the one you play against your parents. Yeah.
go get that. Yeah.
It's kids that are like
Exactly.
5.
Just a bunch of ghost players that I made up accounts for, my burner accounts.
You're like,
I'm awesome. I win all the time, guys.
I win this
No
league
idea.
every
When
year.
I lose to my burner account, it's like, fucking really? This guy's an asshole. Anyway, so moving on to Mr. Matt Moore, and I don't think I'd ever picture myself writing an article, promoting this guy. But he's got 15 and a third innings on the season, a 1.17 ERA, under 1 WHIP at 783, 17 Ks and 8 holds to go along with a 1-1 record. He's only 32% owned in Fantrax. You already talked about Leiter Jr. and then
Matt Moore is following that. There's always every year there's one or two starting pitchers or old starting pitchers that reinvent themselves in the bullpen. Matt Moore is definitely that guy. Tampa Bay, then Texas, and now here. But I love what I'm seeing there as well. But
yeah,
And look, we've always thought for years, if the Angels can just win some damn games, the bullpen would be good. Even the,
right.
And they are. They're finally figuring it out.
They're
So
the epitome of the bullpen that you want to go after because they're going to be in close games. They don't win a lot as it is, but when they do, it's like
18 and 14.
Hey, we're
they're
not
solid.
blowing people out. So come on in, boys.
By the way, can I just say before we close out here, how upside down this whole league is? The Pirates, the Orioles, the Rays. They're like 3 of the top 4 teams in baseball.
The Rays are always kind of up there.
Not this good.
No, not the way the Rays are winning. Good. Yeah, but the Rays are winning. They're so Tyler Wells-esque right now, right? Wells-esque on how they're doing it. They're scoring. They're bashing the ball, right? This is how the Orioles were supposed to be winning, but they got this slugger in Tyler Walls that is just helping them win. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, seriously.
What's funny? The Orioles also have a Taylor Wells, I believe, or Tyler Wells.
Taylor, you're right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a quesadilla though. It's not.
No. It's a Wells Walls. It's an Oasis song, right? Wells of Walls, Wonder Walls.
Yes.
So Hunter Harvey,
Walls.
Double H, not Triple H, but a Double H. Mr. Hunter Harvey is basically doing things that we expected to see him do in Baltimore. His season, he's got 13-2 innings, 1.98 ERA, just under 1 WHIP, 16 Ks, 7 holds, 1 win, which he just got, I believe, 2 nights ago. But since April 15th, he's got 6 innings, no earned runs. Again, that magic number of .644 WHIP, 9 Ks, and 3 holds, and the win. So he's only owned in about 18% of leagues in Fantrax. Again, Fantrax is the premier site for Dynasty and all your fantasy baseball needs. So because of that, the ownership is a bit skewed, possibly. But that's because our player pool is huge. So
yeah, Harvey's 1% rostered in on Fantasy Pros, and they do a consensus between Yahoo and ESPN. I'm looking at Leiter. He is 7% rostered. Matt Moore, 6. And Estevez, I imagine to be a lot higher at 45, right. But still not as high as it should be, in my opinion.
Still below 50.
That's crazy he's not rostered much more.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing out there? Go pick him up.
7 saves already, and
because that's a saves league. Those are saves only leagues too. Like, what are y'all doing? Go get him. Who's sleeping out there? Go.
Yeah. Well, there are idiots out there that are picking up AJ instead. So
yeah, AJ has his leagues that he just has himself in there. So go pick him up, AJ.
I already did. Wait, no, that was a burner. I'm screwed. I missed him.
Anyway.
I don't even know what to do. All right, we're going to close it out. Want to thank you all for tuning in. We will be back.
Okay, hold on. Last thing. Dap. If you had to pick 3 toppings for your quesadilla, which positions that Taylor Walls is eligible to play in would you pick as your 3 toppings? And go.
Second base, shortstop, third base. Is that you said position? So
Position?
It was a confusing question to just make you talk about him again. You're welcome.
Okay, all right.
I was
Thank
gonna
you.
say, he's only eligible at 3 positions, so congratulations, you got them all. I'm tired, AJ.
My
I wanted
highbrow
to
comedy is
be
just
done.
wasted on this show. Wasted.
Something like that. Cano had a win tonight, and Duran, one of our big pickups from last week on our free agent. Please check out our fab pickups that drops on Saturday. We had Duran highlighted as well, and he has 2 stolen bases tonight, and he's been on fire.
And if you're in our Discord, we have been talking about him a lot.
Yes, a lot.
Just to let you know.
Helping people pick them up because they're like, who do I drop? And I'm like, oh, well, let's hear your thing. And like, oh, we're like that guy. For sure.
Yeah. There's a couple dudes in like 10-team leagues, and I'm like, shit, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
like it's so hard.
Oh, God. One guy who showed up gave his pitching, and I was like, how do you have all those pitchers? Don't drop any of them ever.
Yeah. Well, the one that super confused me was the one who sent his hitters out, and he was like, "Who do I drop out of my hitters?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. You need to pick up a pitcher. Is there a pitcher you can drop? And then he sent his pitchers, and he's got 2 empty pitcher spots. And I was like, why do you have 2 empty pitcher spots?
What?
You need to explain this to me, because there's got to be a reason for it. I'm like,
right.
Do you have like a really small start limit? He goes, yeah, we can only start 5 pitchers a week. And I'm like, what in the hell? I've never heard that in my life. But sure. So you're not dropping a pitcher. Because he didn't want to start Luzardo this week, which was a smart move.
Right.
So that's his 5th starter usually.
He almost made my cut list, but
not yet.
He wasn't drafted.
But anyway,
so just a quick note to all our viewers and people that write to us on Discords or emails, or please let us know what your league makeup is. When
that helps a lot.
Because like for the other gentleman that had asked me those questions, like I don't know, are you doing do you have innings pitched? Do you have quality starts? Do you have wins? Like, what do you have? So if you just put that in there in the question, we can answer your question so much faster.
And for points leagues, you don't have to give me every point category, but tell me like what's kind of favored. Like, is it power heavy? Are steals like worth a lot? Like it does. The more information you can give us, the better it's going to help us answer your question. I mean, like just today, somebody was asking like, should I pick up or trade? It was trade Keller or Kirby for Jorge Mateo.
Right.
And I was like, I mean, Mateo's killing it right now. I get it. But like, you're in a points league. Like, I don't trust the power. And normally in a points league, steals are not super valuable. So unless you're in a super steals valuable league, then I say no, because points leagues generally kind of favor pitching because of especially if it's like a weekly league, to give you those like massive boosts. Ended up being that was the right answer, I think, because it was a 1 point per steal league. Had it been like, I've seen some leagues where it's like 5 points per steal, but all the information helps. But anyway, that being said, we do need to close out. I want to thank you all for listening. Please become a member. Please join our Discord. We love talking to you, and we will see you all next week.